Good evening, ladies. We're moving on with our learning. Actually, my due date is really coming closer. So if it's okay that we will dedicate today's learning for me. So I'll have Bezrat Hashem an easy, quick delivery. Okay, so we spoke about, last video, we spoke about what are the reasons that a tzadik might actually have difficulties in life. Because we would imagine that a tzaddik would only have the easiest life in the world because he's a tzaddik. So he deserves to be given everything by Hashem and he shouldn't suffer at all. And yet we see the people who are tzaddikim, they still suffer. So we need to understand why. And we mentioned two reasons. One reason was that we have two psukim, one that says, En tzaddik ba'aretz asher lo yecheta, which means there is no such thing as a tzaddik who never sinned. And another pasuk that says, Tzadik ba'aretz yeshulam, which means a tzaddik is being paid here in our world on earth. So when a tzaddik does something bad, he's being paid here. And the tzaddikim are being punished here. So when they pass away, they come clean with a pure soul and they go straight to heaven. The second reason is because Hashem saves all the good things that the tzaddik deserves for his next life, because he knows that a tzaddik doesn't care so much about this world and he wouldn't want to waste the reward that he deserves here. He would like to keep it and save it for his afterlife. The third reason we're going to talk about now is to teach other people that we worship, that we follow Hashem, that we do the Torah and the mitzvot and everything, also if we have hard lives. Because if the tzaddikim, all the tzaddikim in the world, would have had the easiest lives, then we wouldn't think so much of worshiping Hashem, because we would think that of course people do that, it's so easy. I mean, if people worship Hashem and then automatically they have the easiest lives and they have everything that they ever wanted just given to them, then obviously we'll all just worship Hashem and we'll all just do the Torah and do all the mitzvot and do everything that we should be doing. But not for the right reasons, not because we love Hashem, not because it's the truth, but because we want to have a good life. And so the tzaddik comes to show us that you need to follow Hashem and you need to do the right things, and it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter what kind of life you have, even if you have difficulties, even if you are facing not the easiest things in your lives, still, it doesn't matter. We worship Hashem, we follow Hashem, even when life is hard. It's not that we only worship Hashem for the reward. The fourth reason is that the tzaddik sometimes, if we're talking about not a regular tzaddik, but sometimes every generation there are a few tzaddikim who are really the leaders of the generation. And we're told that sometimes these leaders, they see the state of the generation and they see that the people really deserve to be punished. Because the generation sins, and this tzaddik takes responsibility for its generation, and he takes upon himself the suffering that the generation deserves, because he knows this generation deserves to be punished, and he knows that Hashem loves him so much that if he would ask Hashem, you know what, I will take it, just let them be, even though they do deserve to be punished, I take it upon myself, then Hashem will let him do that. And sometimes there are tzaddikim who are willing to suffer for the generation they live in. And the fifth reason why we could see a tzaddik suffering, it's because that's the only reason that he gives that is kind of criticism for the tzaddik. He says, sometimes there are tzaddikim who are so pure and are so righteous, and they do the Torah and they do the mitzvot and they do everything, and their lives are perfect in a way. They are so close to Hashem, and they feel every single word when they daven. They mean every single word, and they're so close to Hashem, and they're so happy this way, and they only think of themselves. They don't understand that the generation they live in is somewhere completely different, but they're so happy in their good, righteous lives that they don't care so much about their generation. And pretty much, and basically when there is a tzaddik, he has responsibility for his generation. So the last reason that we showed, the tzaddik has responsibility for his generation, and he cares about them, and he takes this responsibility, and he's willing to suffer for their behalf, because really they deserve to be punished. But he was willing to take it on himself just so they won't be punished. But the other option is a tzaddik who is such a tzaddik, but he doesn't care so much about his generation. And he's not doing enough to try to bring them closer to Hashem. He's not trying to reach out to them. He's not trying to get close to them. He's just happy where he is, holy and righteous on his own. And that's the only reason we could see that there could be judgment or criticism towards the tzaddik, because it's very good that you follow Hashem. It's very good that you're doing the right things. But what about the rest of the Jewish people? What about us? Don't we matter? And we're all loved by Hashem, and Hashem wants you to get out of your house and try to find his sons and bring them back. And when you don't do that, you're being criticized. And that is it. That is it for today. It's a little longer, but we finished it. We finished all the reasons why a tzaddik could be punished or suffer. And that is it. And I will see you Bezrat Hashem tomorrow on the next video. Good evening.